I'm Patrick Bailey from whiteboardcoder.com. Today is May 3rd, 2017. And in this video, I'm going to be going over how to install specific images from Docker Hub. And I'm also going to be going over how you can trust images from Docker Hub. When you do a simple Docker pull of an image without any tags, you're actually pulling the latest. So if I do something like this, sudo docker pull nginx, it's actually pulling nginx latest. And one way you can check that is you can do a sudo docker images, and you can see here's the tag. And everything I've downloaded on this particular box is the latest, which actually can change over time, but the minute that you actually got it, it was the one that was tagged latest. Now what does that mean? Let's go over here to Docker Hub and do a search on Nginx to show you. And if I go to the Nginx official, you'll see right now, you'll see latest. This guy is tagged with latest. Oh, stop. Go back. Also, it's the same one. It's also the same one if you download 1.13, 1, or mainline, or 130. They're all the same right now. Now, 6 months from now, latest might mean 115 or something. But right now, this is what it means. Now, these tags, in a sense, could change. But if you have someone like Nginx who you trust, they're not going to change. The only ones that should probably change over time are latest and stable. But right now, if I download 1.12, it should download this one. With the exception of, let's say there's a bug in 1.12 and they know it and they fix it, they might replace that with a 1. But in essence, it should be the same 1.12 with a bug fix or something. But that's up to how they handle their repository. Having said that, let's go download some other ones. So if I do sudo docker pull nginx, it would pull nginx latest, which I already have. So right now it should just, oh, I guess my latest is not the latest. So I guess I'm updating. Yeah, downloaded a new image. Okay, so there you go. Perfect example. My latest was not the latest because I downloaded it last week. And there you go. And it looks like my old latest was 5.7 and 5.7. So now I still have that, but now it's being listed as none. So depends on how you want to handle that. You still have it, but you probably not want to use it anymore. Okay, but now let's download some specific ones. So sudo docker pull nginx. And if I did latest, it's going to pull, it shouldn't do anything because I'm pulling the latest, which I already just pulled. And so it should just say, you've already got it. Okay, no problem. Now if I do sudo docker pull nginx, and if I look over here and I see, where is stable? Stable, right there. And if I pull stable, do a colon and then the tag. In this case, I'll pull stable. And now if I look at them, there we go. I can see there's nginx and stable. And so that worked. I can also pull down, let's say do this one, sudo docker pull nginx 1.12.0-perl. If I look over here, I'll see 1.12.0 perl. It'll pull down this guy right there. There you go. So there's 1.12. So now you can see I've got the latest, I've got stable, I've got 1.12.0 perl, and they're all different. You can see the image IDs are different. So these are actually different guys. So you got to know about that. So you may not want to be downloading stable or latest all the time. You may want to actually, if I really wanted the stable and I want to make sure that it stayed the same and not have to fight with it, I'd probably do 1.12 versus stable. But it depends on what you want. If you did stable and you kept refreshing it, you'd always get whatever the latest stable is. And that might be what you want. Let's see, what else? But now I can do sudo docker pull nginx. And we can see stable here is also 1.12. And so I can do 1.12. But now since I already have it, it will technically not pull it because it's already there. It notices that you already have it. And so if I do sudo docker images, I'll see I have that 112, and I can reference it like that. So I can say, run 112, but you can see it has the same image ID as stable. So they're identical at the moment until stable changes. Okay, and then I'll go and remove one. Let me just show you sudo docker rmi remove image, and I'll do nginx, and I'll do 1.12. And if I do that, it should not remove the stable, it'll just remove the 1.12. In this case, it says untagged because I didn't have to actually remove it. I just untagged it. Let's see, but I can do stable, and there you go, removed it. So now those are gone. So that is how you pull down specific tags and specific versions. You probably want to go to their site on Docker, see how they list them, and then grab the one you want. Now the next thing I'm going to go through is how can you trust an image from Docker Hub. Now from Docker Hub, there are images that are labeled as official and images that are labeled as trusted. So what you can do to kind of look through those is you can do a sudo, let's see, docker search, and I'll do a search on nginx. And if you do a search on something, let me make this wider. It'll return the first 25 results, but it returns those based on stars, and I think based on official too. So if you look at this, you'll see the nginx official build, and you'll see it's marked as official OK. Now, I don't know how you obtain that, but from what I've seen, it's like you know that this is from the nginx guys. Same thing if I do a search for Postgres. Yeah, Postgres, there we go. You should see there's probably an official one, and the name is Postgres. So you know that that is from those guys. So the official ones, they do default. They probably do some special things to get those. I don't think there's any way for you to get it unless you're running some kind of project. But for the other ones, and that tells you, hey, this is trusted. It's the official guys. They're officially doing it. The other way you can trust things is if they're automated. So here you'll see there's OK. Now in this particular, in both these searches, the first 25 results are all coming up OK. And that's a good way to trust them, because what that does, either through the official build or through the automated, is they are built. I'm not going to go over how you build Docker images with a Docker file. I'll do that in a video someday. But you can use a Docker file to define how you're going to build a Docker image. And so you can give it a base image. You can say, hey, this base image, I'm going to use the Docker nginx 1.12, so pull that in. And then I'm going to add these two files. And you can define that in a Docker file. So what they do to make things official and make it more easy to trust them is they provide this automated thing. And so if I go over to nginx, I can click on one of these. And what this actually does for the official ones is I'll go over here. It'll actually open up a GitHub page. And so the Docker file and other files it needs to build this image are there. And so this is a Docker file, which I'm not going to go over right now, but this defines how that exact image was built. And so what you would do is you would make a GitHub repo, you'd put your Docker file in there and all related stuff, and you would basically tell Docker Hub about it, and they would pull it. They would pull all that information, so they have a reference back to it, and they would build the image there and then make it available. Now, it doesn't make it perfect, because you could put bad things in there, potentially, although I do think they do scan through things, but at least there's a record. And so you can actually go click on there and see exactly what happened, because those are all available. As an example of that, if you go search, and you can search by names too. If I search Patman Denver, which happens to be my account, there's not much there right now. But there's some old stuff I worked on last year, and I have two on there. And so here's this Docker class site, and it's not automated. And so there's no way to backtrace what I did. I just made something and pushed it up there, and you don't know exactly how it was built or where it came from. So there could be red flags there. But this one, I did automate, and you can see, hey, it's automated. And so if you go to my site, you'll see that Docker class, and I can click on that and open up that page about that image. And there's the source repository. And you can click on there, and you can see that this image was made from this repository. And you can go click on the Docker file and see exactly how it was made and where all the information is. And if it happened to, like here, it referenced a default configuration file. It says copy this file. And that needs to be in the Git repository too. And there it is right there. So you can see all the information that went into that. And so you can trust it in that respect. And the fact that it could be backtraced, you can actually see exactly what they did. The Docker images are built at Docker Hub, and they're built from the GitHub repo they pulled in. Now, I could put something nefarious in here and still probably get automated. They might find it, but at least you could look at it and see what I did. And so there's that exposure. So that's how you can trust things. Let's see. And if you want some more information on that, I'll put a link to this. This is a little tiny blurb about when they introduced this feature, these trusted builds. So there is trusted builds. Okay, one more thing I kind of wanted to go over with these builds, and I probably shouldn't be using the word trusted, more like automated, but you have a way to trust them. If I do a search on Nginx, again, I can go over here and see all the unofficial ones. So if I just kind of grab this guy, Jay Wilder, and if I go to you'll see the difference between an official, if I go to official build, they have a nice interface, they have all this information here, a lot more information here. But if you go to a basic one, let me go back and find this guy's. There we go. So we'll search for him. And there he is. So now if I go to his, or you saw it on mine, it's not quite, you can make a page here and you can make links because you are allowed to do a markdown file. And so this guy's actually done a pretty nice one. But here you can see source repository. So he could have linked it over here, but this is not the place to trust the link. The place to trust it for basic builds is right over here in the source repository, which I don't think on the official builds it has that. We don't have, it's a little different for the official builds, but they have links and they're a little more official. But for all us common folk over here, you can go over here and click on here and get the source repository. Same thing for mine. So if you go to mine, you'll see over here, yeah, there's my source repository, and that's how it works. Let's see. Yeah, so there you go. And also here you can click on here and actually see, I guess, the Docker file that built it. Right? Yeah, there you go. But anyway, so that's it for this video. That's how you pull specific images based on their tags. And it's also kind of explanation of how you can trust things, what's an official image, and what's an automated image, and how that all works for helping you to trust the images you're pulling down more. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a like. To subscribe, just click the subscribe button. Also, you can follow me on Twitter under the handle @whiteboardcoder.com. View any code I may have thrown up as a gist at GitHub under the username PatmanDenver, or check out my blog site at whiteboardcoder.com.